Hi, everyone. I need to share something that's really weighing on my heart today. A few months ago, I had the privilege of sitting down with filmmaker Susie Singer Carter to talk about her documentary, No Country for Old People. It's based on her experience with her mother's care for the end of her life in a nursing home. During that conversation, she shared stories that honestly made me cry, stories about her own mother's experience in the care system and what she discovered when she started really looking into how we treat older adults in this country. Well, that film is now available on Amazon, and I just finished watching it. I'm sitting here feeling this mix of heartbreak and hope, and I had to come to you, my community, because these are the conversations we need to be having. When I talk about it's being okay to be old, this is exactly what I mean. It's not just about embracing our own aging journey with confidence and joy, though that's important. It's also about ensuring that all of us at every stage of life are treated with dignity and respect. Watching Susie's film reminded me why this work we're doing together matters so much. Every time we challenge an ageist comment, every time we show the world that people over 50 are vibrant and valuable, every time we refuse to be invisible, we're creating a culture where growing old doesn't mean losing our worth. I'm not asking you to watch this film because it's easy or comfortable. I'm asking you to watch it because it's necessary. Somewhere out there, someone's mother or father or future self needs us to care enough to witness their story and demand better. Our lives and our stories don't end at 50 or 60 or 80. They evolve, they matter, and they deserve to be heard. Susie's film does the same thing. It says these lives matter, these stories matter, and we, all of us who are aging, matter. So please, if you can, watch No Country for Old People on Amazon. Not because I'm telling you to, but because it might be just what we need to change how all of us see this whole journey we're on together. Let me know how it hits you. I'll be here ready to talk about whatever comes up. Now let's dive into today's conversation.
What happened? And so and that's the other thing that I'm trying to explain in our documentary is what's the difference between hospice and palliative. Palliative's an umbrella, but there are programs that you can bill to that are under the palliative umbrella, which are not under just regular Medicare or Medi-Cal in California. So it is, and the experts find it confusing. So let alone us regular folk who aren't in the medical field, and we're trying to navigate this, like all these twists and turns and things that even the experts don't understand. And so you're looking for somebody to tell you the truth, like just give me the answer, help me help my mom. That's all I want. I don't know what I'm doing.
Which is even doubly astounding that you were there. I'm sure there's patients that don't have people advocating for them. You were there saying, just, I'm here, I'll do it. Just what is it I need to do? Susie, what recourse does the family have legally when patients are neglected?
That's another very, very, very frustrating issue because everything is regulated by state, and every state has different caps, even on death. So for wrongful death, like California's they're capped up until the December of last year was $250,000. So that means if somebody dies, you could be completely neglected, you could make someone suffer, they could have the worst exit that you've ever seen, God forbid. And if you got to court and if you found somebody who will take your case because it's expensive
and nobody wants to go up against them. Yeah, that's
nobody wants to go,
right.
And for $250,000, right? So it's gone up a percentage this last year, but still it has to be, a lawyer has to really think that you've got a solid foolproof case. And even then, at the end of the day, these companies look at those fines as just the cost of doing business.
Right. They allow for it in there. So, when we did the little bit of the pre-interview and we were talking, I didn't have this in here, but I want to ask you this, if you can even answer this. What is the morale of the staff when you go? Do they run the other way when they see you? Do they say there's not, people who somebody has to have an ounce of compassion in them. I can't, I know it's a ghost town. I've been to them. I understand. And we went through a few things with my parents, but that little glimmer of, is there anything left in taking, what is the thought? Well, the person's old, we don't care. Is it a triage? Well, they're 89. I'm not going to help them. Well, he's only 80. Maybe we should help him. She's only 75. Let's pay a little more attention. What is the thinking?
Right, correct. You're correct and all that. And people, listen, there's been an exodus of people from this industry, right? And there's a whole, army of healthcare providers who have experienced and are suffering with moral injury, right? Because they can't do the job that they set out to do, that they'd always wanted to do, and because they're really being shackled by an industry. And the industry says, this is the way you have to do it. This is what we need to, bill for. We need this, we need that, everything, and so many people are leaving, because they're underpaid, for one thing. Underpaid, overworked, and there's very few, I don't even know if they exist anymore, independent providers. They're all under a huge umbrella, so they have stockholders to answer to, right? And so it's very difficult. And when you do have someone compassionate, and I'm not saying there were some compassionate frontline providers that were at the facility who would take me aside and say, I would do exactly what you're doing. I would do exactly what you're doing. But they couldn't help me because their job was on the line.
Right. They're not going to risk that for you.
Right. I mean, I had the charge nurse the week before my mom died. My mom was in the hospital, and she said to me, and we both cried. She said, you're an amazing daughter. It'll make me cry now if I say it. But she said, you're an amazing daughter. I hope that my daughter's like you. And she said, but you don't bring her back here. Please don't bring her back here.
They know, and they tell you. Susie, you made this amazing, painful, and shocking documentary on what really goes on in assisted living facilities, leaving families, and in some cases, staff members, like we just discussed, devastated and demoralized. What can we do as a society to change this?
So, listen, that's a huge question. And we've been working so closely with the National Consumer Voice for Quality Long-Term Care, who, by the way, have been around since 1975. That's how long this goes on, right? The same issues. It hasn't changed. So sadly, it hasn't changed. And one of the things we were discussing just last week was what is the call to action? Like, what can we do? The traditional paths of advocacy, writing your legislature, writing bills, getting, this and that. Yeah, they can move the needle a tiny bit, but they're never going to change and make the shift that we're looking for. We need a complete, we need to tear it down and rebuild it, because it's been this way for too long and nobody is incentivized. And I think what's really important for the audience to know is that there is a nursing home lobby that is so powerful and possibly more powerful than the pharmaceutical. And my partner on this project is Rick Montcastle, who is a former attorney general and federal prosecutor who was the subject of Hulu's Dope Sick. He was
really? Oh, okay.
And he also prosecuted nursing homes for 25 years and never saw any change, because the one-by-one prosecutions, which they're always civil. They're never criminal, even though they're killing people. And he just said, now, he retired last year, and he said, now I can make change. And so
his background, hopefully what he can bring, obviously, is the reality of what goes on in years and years of experience.
Absolutely. And the fact that the nursing home lobby is that strong. So our politicians are bought and paid for. And so are our bills. And so is the enforcement or lack thereof of bills. So even if a bill passes, who's enforcing it? Where's the oversight?
And the interesting thing is, I was just having this discussion with someone today, because my new book coming out is called It's Okay to Be Old. And it's about what is old and how do we define it. And one of the things, the living generations now, I did a tremendous amount of research, and it what it used to be, and not in the far too, not too long ago, in the recent past, I might add, you retired at 65. That's when you got your pension, your social security, whatever. And most
Right,
people didn't live past 70 or 75. So
right,
golden years were 2 years, 3 years, 5 years max.
right.
And we have a whole different model now. And obviously the government hasn't caught up. So what's so important for everybody now, that what I'm telling people is you really got to get it together in your 50s. You can't wait until you're in your 70s to figure this out. In your
Mhm.
50s is the time to start saying, well, what if I live to be 85? What if I live to be 95? What if I live to be 100? What is it we can do? Whether it's putting money away, advocating for yourself, or being that big mouth that goes and fights for the rights of people that are aging. So
Right, I love
ageism,
what you're
right?
doing.
Right. Ageism plays a huge
It's a
role,
huge role.
huge role. And
We need, yeah,
we
we
got to
need a
crack
collective
that nut.
change. We
Yes.
have to do a public socially, a social shift is what we need.
Yes. Yes.
Because if we don't get that, that's what's keeping the system status quo. Because people don't, for the most part, don't look at that chapter of life that you're
That's right.
talking about.
Right.
And so because it's it's others. Well, this isn't my mom's story, this is all of our story. It's mine, it's yours, it's your parents, it's your children's story. So it's everybody's story, and it happens quicker than you know. and,
Absolutely.
and do
Absolutely.
you, I'm telling you right now, you do not want to go in a nursing home. You do not want to go in a nursing home. It is not, it is warehousing. And so how do we fix it? We are the only currency. As human beings, we are the currency, and we need to be able to use the power that we have as constituents to say, we know what you're doing, we're not going to vote for you.
Right.
We're aware of what the system is. We know it has to be a Me Too movement. It has to be a Black Lives Matter movement. It has to be, boots on the ground. We see you. We know what's happening, Governor. We, we know what you're doing. And, especially with people that are ambitious, they're gonna listen to that. They're not gonna listen to a bill.
Right. That comes across their desk that they're not paying attention to.
They're not gonna care.
Susan, there's another, and I don't know if you've been following these stories about the ageism among the politicians, that now they're using this as a person's age as ammunition against them, not as much as a policy or a belief, or whether you're left or right or blue or red. It's, well, that person needs to take a competency test because now they're 75. That sets the stage for the audience to instantly think the person is incapable of running for office. It is so hard to fight that once that comes out of somebody's mouth, or once that, and we're looking now, and maybe 85 isn't the best time to be running for president or running for office, but just a few years younger than that, I know so many competent people traveling the world doing fantastic things. So to just chalk them off due to age is a terrible problem we're having. Now, having said that, Susan, I say very strongly, 60 is not the new 40. If you're 60, you're no longer 40. If you're 50, you're no longer 30. So please take heed at the current age you are now, and try to have some foresight into the future, even if you are 30 or 40 or 50, because I can only say only 50 because I'm 63. So I like to say, you're only 50. Please, everybody, start paying attention now. I can't say that enough, because Susie and I can tell you it goes in a blink. You're 20, you're 40, and it happens so quickly. And to care for yourself, to care for others, and just keep coming from a place of compassion. Somebody who is lying in a hospital, a nursing home, a hospice, and does not have the capability to take care of themselves, we have a responsibility to make sure that they're okay.